One of the issues we care most about on the Young Turks is climate change. Well, it doesn't get any more important than making sure we protect the planet that we're on. It's right up there in important issues. So I'm really happy to announce that we're doing a partnership with Participant Media. They're an amazing company. They did The Help, Lincoln, Spotlight, all these other movies, including Inconvenient Truth. That came out in 2006. That changed the way that I saw this issue, and it added an urgency which was desperately needed for me and for a lot of people. Well, they now have a sequel called An Inconvenient Sequel, Truth to Power. And I love that it's getting the message out and continues to do that. That what they also want you to do is take action as part of this movie. The movie comes out July 28th in New York and LA, and August 4th nationwide. I want to have you look at a part of the trailer here to give you a sense of how powerful An Inconvenient Sequel is. And by the way, the first easy action you can take is to watch it. So let's take a look here.
It's supposed to be 70 degrees today. It's freezing here. Speaking of global warming, we need some global warming. It's freezing.
The most criticized scene in the movie An Inconvenient Truth was showing that the combination of sea level rise and storm surge would flood the 9/11 memorial site. And people said, what a terrible exaggeration.
Hurricane Sandy slammed into New York City last night, flooding the World Trade Center site.
Storms get stronger and more destructive. Watch the water splash off the city.
It's time to put America first. That includes a promise to cancel billions in climate change spending. Our plan will end the EPA.
This is our home.
Whose house? Our house. I like that ending.
That was powerful.
It is powerful. I mean, when you look at it and he says, this is our home. You know what you do with your home? You protect your home.
Exactly.
That's what you do. I like to see Gore angry like that. John, what are the actions they can take?
Well, look, we're gonna get into some specifics. We have some general principles that you can, starting today, live by to try to make good on what you will learn from this movie and how we can actually solve the problem. Here are 3 different areas you can take part in. First, you can use your choice to switch your home, your business, your community, or your university over to 100% renewable energy. Basically, whatever influence you have to reduce your carbon footprint, you can start doing that, even if it's just in your very own home. You can use your voice and urge your family, your friends, your coworkers, and your community to pursue climate solutions, to educate themselves about this issue, and work on ways that they too can contribute to the solution. And you can also use your vote to demand that leaders at all levels of government take climate action. Incentivize politicians who take this problem seriously, and vote out the politicians who won't do what's necessary to solve the problem.
Look, we told you how important the vote was in the last election, and we told you that Trump could damage the environment. And in fact, John and I had a conversation about how in this election, that might have been the single most important issue, because if the president doesn't take action, it puts us so much further back. So now we all have to band together to make sure that we take action and he doesn't block us. But your voice is just as important. Look, I started a whole online show to get our voice out on issues like climate change. You don't have to go and start a Snapchat show, but maybe you should, okay? But at a minimum, talk to your family, friends, vote, get out there and be heard. And look, the part of it is you got to get angry to take some action. And if we don't stand up, nobody is. So what's the 10 days of action, John?
So we gave you some general guidelines on how you can take part and how you can push for the change that's necessary to deal with this problem. But we also want to give you specifics. We're gonna have 10 different days of action and some organizations that you can get involved with that are directly dealing with this issue. So for day 1, we have the Climate Reality Project. This is an organization set up by Al Gore, and it is working to put both activists and concerned citizens in touch with the resources they need to make change, also with the people that need to be persuaded, that need to be pushed into making the change that's necessary. And the area we want to talk about is something that you are probably well aware of, especially if you watch the show, and that is the Paris Climate Accord, where against all odds, miraculously, almost 200 countries came together and pledged to voluntarily drastically reduce their emissions over the next decade and beyond. And it was amazing that it happened. Of course, then Donald Trump gets elected and he wants to pull us out of that. But despite him wanting to do that, There are still any number of countries that are still committed to it. There are literally hundreds of both governors and mayors across America who are pledging to still abide by the Paris Climate Accord standards. And you can actually join in that as well. There's a pledge that you can sign, the I Am Still In pledge, that pledges that you personally are still going to work to reduce your own carbon emissions in a number of different ways, which some of which you're already probably aware of, others which we will cover in the remaining days of action, to support both businesses and politicians, cities and states that pledge to remain under the Paris Climate Accord standards, to work to continually try to push President Trump to get the entire country back on the right track in whatever way is possible or necessary, and also to call on Congress to punish polluters, to incentivize green energy and all related issues like that. You can make that pledge. It is linked down below.
Come on, guys. 70% of the country agrees with us. So if one of the things that they talk about here is using your vote, right? Well, if we're 70% of the country, we should be winning. So when Trump pulled us out of the Paris Agreement, and the mayors and the governors stood up to him, I loved it, especially the Pittsburgh mayor when he did what he did, right? But then you got to put people like that in office. So use your voice, use your vote, use your choice. You got to get involved. And by the way, if you don't know enough about it, I hear you, brother. That's why they've got the Paris Toolkit. So check that out, learn all that you have to. I mean, that's part of the whole point of the Climate Reality Project. Get educated, find out what's happening.
And you can spread that information as well.
And when knuckleheads come in and say, oh, here's a snowball, so there must be no global warming, like United States senators, you could be armed with the knowledge and the real facts and the truth about this. And then once you see it, you realize why we have to act right now.
Yeah.
So go to An Inconvenience Equals Facebook page. Every day there's gonna be a new video about how you can get involved. And I like that there's all these different groups, because pick the one that's best for you and go, get involved and take action.
Exactly, and one thing that they're stressing at the Climate Reality Project that I love, and that I think too many people after seeing the original movie eventually thought, well, man, this is such a big problem. Can we really do anything about it? And a certain apathy can come about, but they are working their asses off to make sure that nobody succumbs to that again. They have the simple message that you can spread. The climate change crisis is urgent. It is a danger and a threat to our civilization, but solutions are actually here. There are a million things that we can and must do to deal with the problem. It is not outside of our ability to work past this problem. And then beyond that, of course, there is the actual movie where you'll learn far more.
So the movie comes out on July 28th in LA and New York, and then opens nationwide August 4th. Don't miss it, because it also is incredibly moving pictures and video, obviously, but also the information you need. And I remember walking out in 2006 from An Inconvenient Truth thinking, damn, even I didn't know it was that bad.
Same.
And look, if your house is under attack, do you think that's urgent or not urgent? I'm gonna put that in the urgent category. So we gotta do something right now. It starts with An Inconvenient Sequel, but make sure that you're part of the action.